Today, I wish to convey the truth. It is my hope that we can uncover the reality of this situation. I am completely confident that the allegations against me are entirely unfounded, and with time, this will become evident. Bill and Schott's acceptance of a plea deal would require Sean Combs to acknowledge involvement in trafficking and coercion, which he has firmly stated will not occur. He has consistently maintained that these interactions were consensual and intends to rely on a jury's judgment. Ultimately, the decision lies with Mr. Combs, and I do not foresee this happening, as he is convinced of his innocence. He feels a responsibility to advocate not only for himself but also for his family and for all those who have been targeted by federal authorities. Regarding support for his father, Christian Combs, known as King Combs, is reportedly entangled with federal prosecutors in New York just days before his father's high-profile trial concerning serious criminal charges. The question remains, how does one support their father in this situation? The timing is indeed remarkable, as two law enforcement sources revealed that court documents reviewed recently included a confidential memo, which allegedly suggests testimony from an individual close to Diddy. The latest developments surrounding the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs have generated significant public interest, as the disgraced music mogul faces serious federal charges, including racketeering, conspiracy, and trafficking. Both the prosecution and defense teams are preparing to address the next steps following the indictment, while investigators seek to identify potential co-conspirators. However, the question arises, do you believe Diddy is indeed Justin's father? I cannot say for certain. Defense attorneys are already implicating Christian, the 27-year-old rapper, as the unidentified witness, with prosecutors believing he possesses crucial insider information. Private jet trips, exclusive VIP guest lists, and low-key money transfers tied to Diddy's infamous parties in the Hamptons and Miami. These wild events spanning from 2015 to 2022 are now dead center in a serious federal investigation. But Diddy would be throwing all his celebrity mates under the bus. It is possible that developments may arise during the court proceedings and when he is called to testify. Currently, it is evident how crucial public relations are for Sean Combs, as he attempts to manage the narrative from behind bars, permitting his legal team to produce a documentary. These events are not merely extravagant gatherings. They align precisely with the timeline of the alleged criminal organization implicated in last year's startling indictment. If Christian is indeed cooperating, it could significantly alter the situation. Former Assistant U.S. Attorney Mark Diaz remarked, "Testimony from close family members is exceedingly rare and immensely impactful in significant conspiracy cases like this." Notably, Diddy recently rejected a plea agreement that would have limited his sentence to 12 years, indicating that his legal team is prepared for a vigorous defense. The sealed memo was first presented in court on Tuesday, but it does not clarify whether Christian has received any immunity. Nevertheless, sources indicate that events progressed rapidly following the Homeland Security raids on Diddy's residences in Los Angeles and Miami last March, during which phones, laptops, and extensive financial documents were seized. Defense attorneys who have examined the evidence report that at least 14 of these devices contain private communications between Diddy and his son. A single sip of my drink made the entire side of my face feel as though I had suffered a stroke. In my view, one of the significant challenges in jury selection this coming week is the prevalent anecdotal belief among the public that there are celebrity tapes, and that they have conflated the cases of Epstein and Maxwell with Diddy. There exists a notion that this situation is somehow a repeat of the Epstein case. Prosecutors are eager to have all this information verified in real time during testimony. Should Diddy face all the charges against him, he could potentially be sentenced to over 20 years in prison. Meanwhile, Christian has not been charged with any offenses, but it is rumored that he may be attempting to avoid repercussions by discreetly negotiating his own agreement behind the scenes. Once federal agents snatched up those phones and laptops, everyone in the family who had a glimpse of strange deals or sketchy cash transfers ended up under the microscope. Defense consultant Yusef Roberts, a former DA agent who now guides witnesses in big-time federal cases, said the digital trail led straight to Christian. And here's the jaw-dropper. Encrypted app messages allegedly show Christian booking luxury flights and flying elite guests to secret all-white parties in the Hamptons, and throwing wild yacht rayers in Biscayne Bay that ran deep into the night. Prosecutors say these trips weren't innocent. They claim shell companies tied to Bad Boy Entertainment footed the bill and that those flights helped. Diddy is allegedly running a comprehensive operation involving staff to transport individuals across state lines for illicit activities, which is a grave accusation. However, Diddy's legal team remains resolute, asserting that the flights were intended for legitimate celebrity events and not for any nefarious purposes. When asked about the support for Puff, one supporter expressed unwavering belief in his innocence, stating that they are convinced of his innocence without a doubt. Mr. Combs believes that A. Diddy is innocent, which is why he will not plead guilty, and B. He intends to be honest throughout the proceedings to honor the loyalty of his supporters. He feels a responsibility to all individuals who have faced injustice, regardless of race, and aims to demonstrate that a black man can prevail in federal court. Diddy, seated at the defense table alongside his attorneys, displayed no visible emotion, taking a sip of water before being escorted out of the courtroom by U.S. Marshals. His legal representatives have pledged to contest the charges vigorously and will return to court on Wednesday before the presiding judge to advocate for Diddy. Defense attorney Aaron Sussman responded to the prosecution's tactics in a filing on Thursday, criticizing their attempt to manipulate a father-son relationship into courtroom theatrics, stating that pressuring a son to testify against his father represents a new low in celebrity trial history. Sussman also requested that Judge R.N. Submanian examine the sealed memo prior to the opening arguments, but the judge opted to defer this until Christian is questioned during jury selection. Christian's team is maintaining complete silence, citing legal regulations. However, a source close to him has confirmed that he met with prosecutors twice in early April. Reports indicate that Christian Combs had these meetings with his legal team present. This raises suspicions, as these discussions coincided with the moment Diddy's team began expressing concerns about being excluded from the proceedings. Insiders suggest that this was when the pressure intensified, not only for Diddy but for the entire celebrity network that once revolved around his extravagant empire. Subsequently, last week, 50 Cent took to social media and ignited controversy by alleging he possesses court documents identifying prominent celebrities who profited from deals associated with Diddy's business ventures. Federal authorities are already investigating, issuing subpoenas to obtain records related to celebrity appearances, sponsorship payments, and the distribution of funds behind the scenes. Currently, no other family members have officially joined Christian in cooperating with the investigation, but reports indicate that investigators have approached both Justin Combs and Quincy Brown to inquire if they would voluntarily participate in discussions. The key takeaway for me is that both parties anticipate completing this process within 3 days. Given the high-profile nature of this trial, I was somewhat astonished by their apparent confidence in being able to select a jury in such a short time frame. If jurors enter the trial believing the prosecution's case is overwhelmingly strong, let's say rated at 95 out of 100, but it turns out to be only an 88, this could benefit the defense. Jurors may initially think they will prove this, and they will prove that, only to find that the evidence is lacking, which could ultimately aid the defense's position. Within the realm of black entertainment, reactions vary widely. Some veteran industry figures express sympathy for Christian, who finds himself entangled in legal troubles while trying to remain loyal to his family. Conversely, others argue that he had no alternative. The culture cannot demand the truth and then criticize the first family member who steps forward, stated veteran music journalist Danielle Harper, who has been covering Bad Boy for many years. It is important to recognize Diddy's significant influence. From the 1990s through the pandemic, his summer parties were legendary, attracting stars like Mary J. Blige, Usher, Beyoncé, Jay-Z, as well as prominent actors, athletes, and tech executives. However, prosecutors now assert that these extravagant gatherings were not merely festive occasions but rather recruitment hubs for the criminal enterprise under investigation. Diddy's legal team vehemently disputes this characterization, denouncing the theory as complete fiction, a sensational narrative intended to tarnish the reputation of a music mogul. During the trial, Combs will forego prison attire in favor of regular clothing as his attorneys contend that the evidence demonstrates consenting adults engaging in intimate behavior in their own manner. We have the latest updates from federal court regarding Sean. The Combs criminal case involves various elements such as the status of jury selection, Diddy's attire, a breach of a gag order, and the rejection of a plea offer. However, the situation intensifies when legal experts indicate that a family member testifying can connect all the dots. The documentation, financial records, and narratives begin to align. While financial transactions reveal the methods, family testimonies elucidate the motives, as noted by Grace Harris, a law professor at Loyola specializing in celebrity crime and jury dynamics. Jurors tend to pay close attention when a relative of the accused takes the stand. Reports suggest that a confidential memo outlines 6 significant revelations that Christian is prepared to disclose, including private jet passenger lists, payment directives from companies associated with Diddy, live communications that occurred during events, assigned roles for security personnel, the distribution of funds post-events, and even guidance circulated once media scrutiny began. Diddy's legal team remains resolute, intending to dismantle every assertion, claiming that Christian lacked authority and awareness of any illicit activities. Nevertheless, this entire situation is exposing a widening generational divide within the Combs family. Earlier this year, Christian publicly stated his commitment to music and fashion, distancing himself from business transactions or company finances. Friends report that the raids in March significantly unsettled him, particularly after footage surfaced online showing armed agents. Following the raid on Diddy's Los Angeles mansion, which served as a recording studio for Christian, it was revealed that Diddy rejected a plea deal. This deal would have required him to plead guilty to 1 count of serious misconduct and another related to a broader investigation. In exchange, he would have had to forfeit all weapons seized in March and surrender an astonishing $20 million in assets. Diddy's legal team swiftly dismissed the plea deal, deeming it excessively severe and criticizing it for portraying him as a criminal mastermind. Lead attorney Aaron Sussman stated outside the courthouse, "No settlement that depicts our client as a conspirator is acceptable." Attention is now focused on the jury selection scheduled for Monday, which is anticipated to attract significant media attention. Courtroom seats are being allocated through a lottery system, highlighting the escalating situation. Legal experts suggest that the prosecution is preparing to present a robust case from the outset, outlining what they characterize as a complex criminal scheme that intertwines Diddy's business ventures with more sinister activities. Prosecutors allege that he utilized his liquor brand and nightlife empire as a facade for serious criminal conduct. However, Diddy's defense team is countering these claims, arguing that the government is misrepresenting adult relationships as criminal acts to fabricate a scandal. They contend that the case relies on individuals more interested in financial compensation than in seeking justice, with witnesses pursuing substantial monetary rewards rather than the truth. This is the narrative the defense is pursuing. However, if the judge permits Christian Combs to testify, the dynamics of the case could change dramatically. Prosecutors have indicated that Christian may serve as their initial witness prior to revealing other significant individuals whose identities remain confidential. Former U.S. Attorney Mark Diaz describes this strategy of starting with a close family member as a daring move, as it establishes the narrative from the outset. The repercussions are already being felt within the industry, with several prominent liquor distributors halting their orders for De Leon tequila as they await the developments in the courtroom. Concurrently, there has been a surge in streams of the Bad Boy back catalog, as fans revisit the music that characterized an entire era. Beyond the music charts, this situation is also resonating on an emotional level. Activists are highlighting the profound implications of a son potentially testifying against his father in such a high-profile case. Monique Reed, head of the Black Women's Justice Collective, noted that families often bear the hidden wounds of abuse, and if this case amplifies the voices of survivors, it transcends the confines of a single courtroom. Diddy's legal representatives contended that he had made sincere efforts by arriving in New York prepared to surrender to face the charges. However, prosecutors countered that he is untrustworthy, citing a history of attempting to intimidate witnesses, including those expected to testify in this case, and they have urged the judge to remand him. He is acutely aware of the challenges he faces, as the evidence against him is substantial. It would be prudent for him to accept the plea deal. However, the specifics of the plea deal remain unclear. This quote has been widely circulated as the trial approaches. Although Christian has yet to submit an official witness affidavit, this does not exempt him from potential legal complications. Diddy's legal team retains the right to obstruct certain inquiries if they believe that responding could jeopardize Christian's legal standing. The court proceedings are proceeding without delay. A significant status hearing is scheduled for 8 a.m. on Monday, just half an hour prior to the commencement of jury selection. This presents a very tight timeline. Sean Combs remains in custody at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center without the option of bail. This decision ensures that Combs will stand trial in just 4 days, which will examine whether one of the music industry's most influential figures has exploited his power, wealth, and fame to manipulate both women and men over several decades. Allegations include hosting elaborate parties that involved coercing victims through drugs, threats, and manipulation. The prosecution claims to possess video evidence, and some accusations mirror details from over 70 civil lawsuits filed against Combs in the past 30 years. Significant developments have emerged regarding the case against Sean Diddy Combs, including his court decisions today and their implications. This strategic move comes just 4 days before the trial is set to commence. According to Aaron Kurski, in March, Judge Submanian determined that the combination of new allegations and firearms confiscated during extensive raids provided sufficient grounds to keep him incarcerated. Currently, Diddy's legal team is making another attempt to secure bail, this time citing family health concerns as part of their argument. However, prosecutors remain steadfast, asserting that Diddy possesses excessive financial resources, numerous connections, and ample means to evade capture if released. Currently, Christian remains active on social media, promoting his forthcoming EP. However, all tour dates are currently suspended. A representative from CYN Music Group stated that the label is fully adhering to the legal proceedings and will refrain from issuing further statements at this time. At present, the nation's attention is directed towards Monday, when the court is expected to make a significant ruling. The question arises whether Christian's cooperation agreement can be utilized. Following this, the primary challenge will be selecting a jury capable of remaining impartial in what is anticipated to be one of the most significant celebrity trials of the decade. In a surprising turn of events, recently unsealed court documents have revealed serious allegations against Sean Diddy Combs, who is accused of transferring at least $74 million through a complex network of 17 shell companies from 2016 to 2023. Prosecutors assert that these dubious financial activities are central to the serious charges he faces as the high-stakes trial commences on Monday in the U.S. District Court in Manhattan. According to records submitted late Friday, wire transfers originated from core Bad Boy Entertainment accounts into LLCs located in Delaware, Nevada, and even the British Virgin Islands. Investigators allege that this arrangement financed Gulfstream jets, luxury rentals in the Hamptons, and top-tier security for exclusive events. These setups were previously referenced in earlier affidavits. Prosecutors contend that Diddy orchestrated this intricate business structure to evade personal liability while ensuring the flow of funds and events. Forensic accountant Lydia Marcato, engaged by federal agents, has identified suspicious patterns, including 5-figure withdrawals occurring just hours before certain high-risk events. Notably, 2 invoices indicate that Christian Combs was listed as the internal approver for yacht rentals and catering expenses. This places his signature prominently within the financial transactions, further entangling him in the collaborative efforts detailed in the sealed memo from Thursday. However, Diddy's legal team is mounting a vigorous defense. Lead attorney Aaron Seaman criticized the financial records as mere business expenditures. In correspondence to Judge Aaron Subramanian, He accused the prosecution of misrepresenting hospitality expenses as a framework for a criminal conspiracy. Furthermore, the situation is intensifying. The legal confrontation remains heated. A significant development occurred late in the week when federal agents executed a supplemental warrant at J.P. Morgan Chase on Wednesday, scrutinizing financial documents associated with Dion Tequila's marketing funds. What they uncovered was a startling $900,000 transfer that raised significant concerns. Investigative sources indicate that this sum was transferred from the tequila brand's accounts to an inactive media company owned by one of Diddy's longtime advisors. Remarkably, just a day later, this same amount reportedly financed a private jet charter. Prosecutors allege that this luxury jet departed from Teterboro, New Jersey, transporting 8 unidentified passengers to Nassau, Bahamas, all for the now infamous White Sands weekend. This event is referenced multiple times in the indictment, drawing more prominent figures into the controversy. By Friday, music industry executives and corporate sponsors were in a frenzy, reviewing their own financial records to assess their potential liability. Revolt TV quickly issued a public statement. They are distancing themselves from the controversy, asserting that they have no ties to the shell companies and are prepared to fully cooperate if a subpoena is issued. Meanwhile, Diageo, the parent company of Ciroc and Kai Vodka, which severed its relationship with Diddy last year, has completed its internal audit and found no remaining financial connections. However, the potential damage may already be significant, as branding experts caution that if this trial reveals the inner workings of Diddy's empire, it could undermine the trust that propelled high-end liquor brands in the urban market during the 2000s. The situation has evolved beyond mere parties and profits to include charitable contributions. The financial records indicate $6.4 million in donations attributed to Diddy, including $450,000 to Howard University and $300,000 to a youth arts organization in Los Angeles. While this may seem generous, prosecutors are skeptical of the narrative. They allege that several of these charitable donations were closely followed by nearly identical withdrawals from Diddy's personal accounts, suggesting dubious activity. Former criminal investigator John Mendes describes this as circular financing, where charity serves as a means to alleviate scrutiny from banks. Essentially, prosecutors are positing that these donations may have been a facade, designed to sanitize the financial records while covertly funneling money back to Diddy. Additionally, the witness list is substantial, featuring 3 former aviation staff members, including a mechanic who claims that passenger names were removed from flight logs prior to scheduled audits. He asserts that Diddy's aviation manager justified this as a VIP privacy policy, but prosecutors suspect it was a more calculated maneuver. Diddy's legal team is vigorously contesting this narrative, labeling the mechanic's testimony as irrelevant distraction and prejudicial material that should not be presented in court. This evening, Sean Combs officially announced his decision to decline the government's proposal to plead guilty, thereby avoiding the risk of an extended prison sentence. When questioned about his rejection of the offer, Combs affirmed, "Yes, I do, Your Honor," while dressed in an oversized beige jail uniform. Although the specifics of the plea deal were not revealed, prosecutors indicated that accepting a plea could lead to a lesser sentence for Combs compared to a potential conviction. He faces federal charges related to trafficking and racketeering, with proceedings set to commence on Monday morning. Combs will remain incarcerated, as a magistrate judge denied him bail, expressing that she could not envision any conditions that would assure his return for future court appearances. The judge articulated her concern, stating, "My worry is that this crime occurs behind closed doors." In an unusual development, Judge Submanian conducted urgent arguments on Sunday afternoon, highlighting the pressing nature of this case. Meanwhile, tensions are escalating in the music industry as new financial revelations provoke significant inquiries regarding whether former bad boy artists should finally come forward. Mary J. Blige's representatives remained entirely unresponsive when questioned about rumors of a potential subpoena for her defense. Usher's team also responded, noting that he has yet to be approached by anyone involved in the case. Concurrently, 50 Cent intensified the situation by sharing screenshots of recently unsealed ledger pages, declaring, "I tried to warn you." The online community reacted fervently, and Columbia University sociology professor Marciana Morgan commented, "The online turmoil is indicative of a profound generational divide, particularly on Black Twitter." Trending hashtags